Good morning. My name is Jeff Guillory, Vice President of Sales and Account Management at WellDrive. So happy to be joined today by Randy Daniels, the Operations Geology Manager at Encino Energy of Houston. How are you today, Randy?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Doing fantastic, Randy. Thanks for asking. You joined the company in 2018. Why don't you tell us what's going on at Encino these days?
When I came on to Encino, pretty exciting times there. It was a small private equity company, roughly 28, 30 employees. And as soon as I came on, we acquired Chesapeake's acreage, their Utica acreage up in Ohio. So the team rapidly started increasing. We went from about 30 employees to roughly 130 in just a couple of months. So some pretty exciting times. So since then, we've been operating a couple of rigs up there and just drilling away.
One of the great stories that I love hearing about WellDrive is people who worked with us at one company tend to use us again and again and again as they go to other companies in the future. The same holds true for you, Randy. You had experience with us at Marathon, correct?
That's right. I think I started using WellDrive probably back in 2011 in my operations days there. I worked in the Eagle Ford operations group, and we basically used WellDrive as kind of our platform for sharing data back and forth from the oil patch. So it came in pretty handy. You know, we were running a lot of rigs, up to 18, maybe even 20 rigs at one time. So a lot of data going back and forth, and WellDrive really helped us out up there. It made our life a lot easier as an ops geologist. You became a little more remote. You could collect your surveys with an internet connection rather than relying on emails and being tied to the computer or worried about a VPN connection. Being able to share that data through a simple internet connection made life a little easier for us.
The service which actually introduced us to Encino is called Clean Up, used by many operators who are either acquiring or divesting assets. In Encino's case, you guys acquired about 1,000 assets in the Utica Shale from Chesapeake Energy, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really exciting time. Hectic, obviously, very busy. Like I said, we were ramping up. We were hiring employees. We were trying to get everybody up and running. Very important time for our company. You can't really afford any hiccups or stumbles early on when taking on an asset like that. So WellDrive really helped out. We inherited almost 1,000 wells of data, basically from Chesapeake. So there was an enormous amount of data dumped on us all at one time, and the time limit for reviewing that data and verifying that data was short. So we utilized WellDrive to help us not only move that data from Chesapeake's folder structure into our folder structures, but also verify that the data was actually there, it was correct, it was accurate, it was labeled correctly. And then we were able to push that down to our servers. So yeah, it was very helpful to have that correct and full data set to help us make some of the best operational decisions early on.
There was lots of work that was involved in that effort with WellDrive folks, working alongside Encino folks, and interacting with Chesapeake folks to collect data, clean up data, load data, and actually set up a well file foundation, which Encino has built on since that date.
Yeah, today in the operations team, I use WellDrive basically as a kind of my data sharing and data storage platform. Again, we're sharing data back and forth with the oil patch, whether it's mud logs, surveys, MWD, things like that. So we use WellDrive to share that data, not only between Encino employees, but also with our working interest owners. That's a big time saver there. As data comes in, rather than me having to, find out who this goes to and send emails or have them have to contact me, we can set them up on WellDrive, and that data is automatically sent to them. So it's kind of a win-win for us and the working interest owners that they get their data, they get all the data, and they get it basically, real time. They don't have to wait 30 days, 60 days and ask for it. So it's really a time saver for us.
Those relationships are certainly key, and I'm so thankful to hear that. Just curious, as a follow-up, how is the team's interaction with the WellDrive software itself, our staff, and the overall experience?
Yeah, the feedback's been real positive. Again, I think they really enjoy the fact that they don't have to take the time to track down their data, find out who's holding it, and as people move around, you find out that the email you have for this person at that company is no longer there, and now you need to find your new contact. With WellDrive, it's all very simple, and we don't have to worry about someone giving out data that shouldn't be given out, right? We have that set up in WellDrive for them to get the data they're entitled to and get it as soon as it's loaded.
So that's a good transition to the data itself. So what data do you care about, Randy? And what's your preferred method of interacting with the system? Are you one that likes to receive emails, or do you like to log into the system itself and extract data?
Yeah, obviously when we're drilling, the most important data to me is getting those surveys and getting the MWD data that I need to real-time geosteer our well bores. And that's vital. If we're not getting that information, we run the risk of idling a rig, and we don't want to do that. So that's what's most important to me on a daily basis, is getting that data. I also utilize it to upload, my geosteering reports of where we're at in the lateral. I do that every morning, and that gets sent out to the team. But I would say mostly email is probably, what I get my data on. But there's some things that I have set up for maybe a text message to let me know it's been uploaded, certain data that I just want to know it's there, but I don't necessarily need it. But for the most part, I utilize the email. I have everything directly just emailed to me.
That's a good point. Obviously, some people like interacting with the system to self-serve data, but others like to sort of set it and forget it. And so that approach allows people to set up notifications so that they can receive emails, text messages. Of course, we have an app for both iOS and Android, which allows people in the field to use their phones to get all the information they need from WellDrive. So how frequently do you use the system?
I'm probably a pretty frequent user. Daily, for the most part, sometimes more during the day. There's times I'll be on 4 or 5 times. But yeah, especially when we're in operational mode and we're drilling a well, it's pretty much daily. I'm always on there.
How would you rate the application from a user perspective?
Yeah, I would say very operational friendly. Any software that we can pass out a 2 or 3 slide 2 or 3 slides, on PowerPoint, basically describing how to use it, and people are up and running. I mean, that's pretty simple. So yeah, I think overall we've been able to spread this software through our company with minimal training, and folks have just picked it up and run with it.
Thanks for the feedback, Randy. I'm just curious, what other companies or industries do you feel could benefit from WellDrive?
Yeah, it's the service industry. I mean, I think a lot of our vendors, would be better served using this platform. I know they have a lot of data, and I know there's been a lot of times we try to track down data for older wells, and sometimes that data gets lost, especially in the logging industry. When it comes to MWD data and wireline data, I think that could benefit. Gosh, how about the medical industry? If you guys could get into the medical industry and fix that, that'd be great too. I'd love to go to a doctor and not have him ask me for my X-ray. Like, I feel like he should have that X-ray. So it'd be awesome if I didn't have to fill out all those forms every time.
Wow, a recession-proof industry, healthcare. Really enjoyed the conversation, and we're so thankful here at the WellDrive team that Encino has chosen to be our customer, and we're so grateful for it. Thank you for your time today and your insight. Have a great day.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jeff.